here's some food for thought for you. I think we've all strung someone along at some point, whether we meant to or not. Hopefully it wasn't intentional, because that would be a very cold and heartless thing to do to somebody. But think about this when you do string someone along. Everyone's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh my gosh, I wish I'd said something sooner. Cool. Essentially what you're doing is apologizing for shooting someone after the fact of shooting them. And you expect those apologies to fix that and heal the wound and make it better and undo the damage. Here's a couple things people don't think about when they do string someone along, or when they don't make their intentions crystal clear. And I've been guilty of it before too, so I'm not acting like, my shit don't stink. When you string someone along, you can, and after people have been broken enough and used enough and abused enough and lied to enough, what happens with stringing someone along is you do dang near irreparable damage. You cause an emotional tear in that human being's psyche and trust that doesn't heal. It never heals. And that's the problem, is people think, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. No, sweetheart, that's not how that works. You don't just say you're sorry and fix a problem. The way you fix a problem is by actions. Either you go back and you try to date that person even though you don't think it'll work, or you work hard to make it up to them, whatever it is. I mean, within reason, of course. Still, some people are out there and they'll ask for crazy things in recomps, and that's not how that works. But again, it's the same as telling someone that, you know what, no matter what, I've got you. I'm going to be there for you. No matter what, I got you. I got your six, man. No, whatever. And then when, they need you, you're not even there. It's not like you say, oh, well, I was busy. You just don't answer. It's not okay. And you see, you're lucky you live in the century you do live in, because in older days, the punishments for things like these were very severe. I personally still follow these rules and believe in these punishments. So when you deal with me, you're agreeing to those consequences by default. That's how that works. When you hang out around people, you're de facto agreeing to their code of ethics by some degree, because you're around them, which means you accept whatever consequence comes from hanging out with them. And that's a two-way street. I'm not acting like, it's a my way or the highway thing. But you need to be aware of how your behavior affects others. And don't use some mental illness as an excuse. Don't use bipolar, schizophrenia, or child abuse, or molestation, or rape as an excuse for doing psychological harm to someone else. It boils down to the old adage, whether you're pagan or Christian or Buddhist, would you like it done to you? Would you like it if someone did that to you? And how would you feel? And everyone's like, oh yeah, I'd be fine, I'd get over it. No, you wouldn't. Because you've been through it, and you know the pain it causes. And if you've been through it enough, you know that pain never goes away. It leaves a hole, a cancerous hole that doesn't mend itself. So think about these things, people, and stop defending the people who do this, because that makes you guilty by association for defending them. And while we're on it, I'm talking to you people that defend people that have bad attitudes, and you make excuses like they have a mental illness, or, they weren't ever taught, or they didn't have the guidance they needed in life, or they're mentally underdeveloped. No, these are not reasons for this behavior. When you make it a point to be callous to others who've done wrong, there is something seriously wrong with you. And it is cured through negative reinforcement. Sorry, no, but a lot of people aren't going to agree with this unless you've been through it. But pain and fear are teaching tools. And the people that use "I'm sorry" on a regular basis for their defense of poor behavior, you can't explain things to them. You can't sit down and have a face-to-face like we're doing right now. We're not really doing it, but we're doing it, virtually. Because nobody can sit down and talk to anyone anymore. These people, pain and fear are how you condition them to be more productive individuals. And it was my job for a lot of years to use pain and fear to condition people. And trust me, it works. It's a flawless teaching tool when enacted correctly. So, all in all, think about the things you do, the things you say, the way you behave to people. If you're having a shitty day, cool, you know what? But be aware you're affecting others. There's really no counter debate for this because the simple matter is cause and effect. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If you're an asshole to someone, or you screw someone over, or you lead someone on, or you break their heart, and you don't make an effort to fix it, there are consequences in this world. It's the truth. I'm sorry. And I've been a victim of those consequences too. I've dabbled in bitchery. So, you know what? And I took my comeuppance like a grown-ass woman. And, it sucked. It sucked. But that's how life works. And if you try to run from your consequences and your fate, or have your family or friends defend you or whoever, you're just dragging other people into your karma. God's bless. Have a good day. Happy Veterans Day, everyone.